Hello, high performers. Welcome. It is December 27th. We made it through. Congratulations. I'm talking to Heather Manwaring, who I'm so grateful to have met. We met through another friend of ours and hung out on Zoom a little bit together, just really connected. And we have the same mission in some ways, helping women really step into their power and learn how to express their feelings in an open way to move forward in their lives and businesses. So I am going to read your intro here. Welcome, Heather.
Yay, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too. So Heather is a photographer who has a unique process by which she enables her business owner clients to take up space, express themselves fully, and experience some personal and potentially extreme emotions related to anger or frustration. Heather's unique Transpire process is informed by her years of experience with different connection modalities, including authentic relating, visual meditation, and free flow movement. Her clients walk away with a one-of-a-kind experience and photographs that magnetize both intimate relationships and clients eager to work with them. Nice. So you're in New York City, right?
I am, yeah. I mean, we live in Jersey City, but it's really easy to get to the city.
Yeah, cool. You're close to me then. I'm going to come see you soon.
Cool.
And and do you only work with women?
Primarily. Okay. I have worked with a few men, but I just right now it just seems like mostly women are interested in this. And yeah, valuing that. So, and I connect really well with women generally. So, yeah, not closed off, but I usually keep it a little more focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about mindset, emotion, and how these things are related to being successful in business. What's your take on
that? Yeah. Well, there's so much on the topic of emotions that is out there and that I'm passionate about. And the thing that I've noticed the most in business is that like if I'm not expressing myself or like being really in touch with what's going on in my internal world, it will just it'll reflect in my outer world and make things a lot harder than they need to be. And it'll kind of pop up in my messaging, in like the ways that I show up, and like shrinking a little bit, or, not really standing in my full power and full like trust and confidence in my mission and what I'm here to provide. So yeah, and the way I see business is just a network of relationships. So if I am struggling or like not expressing myself in my intimate relationships, then I'm also holding something back from my clients and my business relationships, and those are equally as painful to me. Because if I don't have good relationships in my business, I'm not making the impact that I want to have, and then I'm not, seen or loved in my personal life, and it's just like, it can be a shitstorm sometimes.
Life and business are the same.
They really are.
True. How we show up in our lives is how we show up in our businesses, and vice versa. So it's this, we don't check our personal lives at the door when we start working.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So you're really saying sort of if you're struggling in your personal life, holding back or not being fully expressed, that really shows up in your work with your clients.
Yeah.
We were talking about sales. We were talking about money before we were talking before we went live.
Well, yeah. So I like anytime we're repressed or like there's something we're not saying, it builds a lot of resentment, because what happens when we're repressing things and like not being honest about how we feel, resentment starts to build, toxicity starts to build. And a lot of us, myself included, have stories around not being seen, not being heard, and not being loved. And once we can start to do that for ourselves, it just naturally shows up in our lives. So like for me, an example is like I really see how pure I am and how like how big my mission is and how much I care. And if I come from that place, my messaging has a much more loving energy to it. It's an invitation, not a like, I'm trying to grab you. You know, it's I'm owning the fact that I have skill. Like I have real skill here and that I have a lot to offer. And so it just like when we're confident in what we're doing and who we are, there's so much beauty that just radiates out because people are seeing and feeling the love and the confidence and like the belief in myself. And that's something I want, like that's just how I want to be in both my personal life and my business. And so even if like when that translates to sales, that's really awesome. And like where my heart is in just being that, because we can make impact even if we're not selling to a certain person. You know, we can still really make a difference. Yeah. And there was a personal example that we were talking about, right? The money
You're
thing.
talking about showing up for your sales call. We're talking about, well, you mean the resentment or the sales call?
Oh yeah. Well, so when like the example that I think is super like recent and poignant is like, I started getting like really, so I'm really clear on my mission and what I'm here to do and the value that I provide. And so we started this call and it was a really great conversation up until the money piece happened. And all of a sudden I start shrinking and like bringing some worry into it, or like the story came up that like I don't deserve to be paid for this work, or like just old stories, you know. And she could really like she could see the difference in my demeanor coming from really strong to then like holding back a little bit. And like you were saying, the nonverbal communication is really like, it's just people pick up on that stuff. And it ended up falling apart because I wasn't staying strong throughout the whole process in a way where she felt really safe, you know? And so it's like moments like that where I'm just like, wow, okay, like, I need to take a minute to slow down and just like remind myself there's something here for me to look at in terms of like my worthiness, you know, and being confident that I really can provide that value, you know? So yeah.
That is, I think everybody who's watching, and if you're watching #live, and if you're watching the replay, #replay, we have Jenny on here talking about they're so intertwined, life and business.
Yes.
Sandra, hi Sandra. She says that's a fun way to take up space and participate in photography, especially when you're someone who is challenged. Don't bring fully challenged by I think she means challenged by not being fully seen like her. I love it. So
yeah, well, it's painful. Not being seen is really painful for me. You know, it's like I just walk around feeling like no one's seeing me, and like I don't matter, and just no one cares, and like that is a really painful place to be.
And it's also painful to show up.
Yes.
You know? So
Yes.
like it's painful either way. So
I know, and sometimes for me, like, I can get so dramatic that it feels like if once I'm showing up in a place where, or in an emotion that I'm uncomfortable with, it feels like I'm standing in and like in annihilation, like I'm going to die, and just like, oh my God, my life is going to crumble and fall apart and I'm going to die. Like that's how it feels sometimes when we're coming up against the things that we've always needed to say but haven't had the space to or felt safe to. It really feels like this big ball of energy that um, is insurmountable, that feels insurmountable, and it's like, ah.
So as you're talking about this,
Yeah.
I don't know, we have Lori joining us. Hi, Lori. As you're talking about this, I have a pit in my stomach because I'm so connected to what you're talking about. Like I'm actually, and I have chills. I'm very, like
empathic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That, I mean, I'm kind of getting a little teary because it really is, this is the shit. Like it is not about, please hear me. It is not about the perfect funnel. It is not about the perfect piece of content. It is about expressing, acknowledging what you're feeling. And I have been working with women for a long time in therapy and now in coaching. And there is this precipice at which we stand, a lot of us, where we have a choice, right? Like we can keep grinding, we can keep pushing, or we can really go inside and acknowledge what actually is going on. And so that's a thing, right? Like just because it's all very unconscious. You are, hi, Courtney. Hi, Heidi. You are, I'd say, pretty aware of your own experiences. But what about for those women who, like, they're on that call, they're on that sales call, and it's time to start talking about money. And all of a sudden they start to sweat or get nervous and just like project. They don't even realize they're projecting this. Like I love how you said sense of insecurity. Like your potential client didn't feel safe. You weren't being a leader in that moment, saying, I got you. And this is how much it is.
Totally. Yeah.
And so she's like, oh, why? Oh, I'm scared now. It's going well, but I don't know if you have me.
Right.
So how, for women who really don't know, like, wow, what was that? What do you suggest?
Well, I use a few different modalities in and practices and tools in my life that I think are really helpful. Sometimes even just taking a moment when it happens to just breathe and like really breathe into the belly, and just check in with yourself and like notice any discomfort or like heart pumping, and just notice. Like, don't make anything out of it. Don't like start going into story, just notice. And I think that for me has been one of the most powerful tools, to just observe, and breathe and like say, I got you, I'm here. Like that for me does so much. Yes, like so much. I got you, I'm here, you're safe. And like, if like, unfortunately, so many women have a similar story to me where, we grew up in really toxic environments and experienced a lot of trauma. And so, so it can be really scary to tap into the feeling, and especially into our bodies, because that's where the trauma lives. And that's where like little, even micro traumas, like you don't even have had to experience sexual abuse to have these little micro moments of like, I wasn't seen there, I was misunderstood there, it was like all these things. Anyway, and it lives there. And so when we're now in an environment, hopefully, where we're not, you know, in family situations or like in an environment where we're still unseen and unheard, it can be scary to change that story because it like goes up against everything that we've experienced, everything that we believe to be true. And so just knowing and having compassion for the fact that this is new, that this is not something that you've practiced a lot of or had permission to do, is really a key piece to just, okay, this is new, this is very different, I feel really scared. You know, I'm noticing myself go into like what I need to do to fix it, or like how I need to, like what stories I can track it to, or like where. So just being here. I'm like, okay. That was weird. Yeah, that was really weird. I don't know why that was weird. It's okay that I don't know why that was weird. You know? Yeah, that's a really big thing for me. Sometimes movement really helps. You know, just starting to move and flow and like, like that was weird. Or like I feel unsafe, you know, and just moving, because it can really just, even if you can't articulate or understand, the body will feel safer just by you moving. Those are two really big things for me. Yeah.
Breathe, self-compassion is huge. We'll be talking a lot more about that. It's huge.
It is huge.
Move your body. Notice non-judgmentally. Okay, wow, that was weird. I felt that. Interesting. Also, like adopting sort of a curiosity about it rather than oh my God, that's so scary. What the hell? And then like I'm such a failure. I didn't land this client, and so I'm gonna be living in a box on the corner next week. Food.
Oh yeah, that's so real. It's so real.
It's so fucking real, and we don't talk about it because there's a shame to it.
There's a shame spiral.
Yes. So I really hope that
nature is a big one for me.
What'd you say?
Nature is huge. If I'm stressed and overwhelmed, I will go to a park. I will go anywhere I can find a patch of grass and sit in it.
But here's the thing about that.
Yeah. I
think for a lot of women who are entrepreneurs and people who aren't too, but this is a group of entrepreneurs, we see that as like we're taking a break and we're not grinding.
Totally.
And there's this whole like, I have to keep going. I have to keep working. I'm in a group. I'm in so many groups, but I'm in a group, and one of the women in there said, "Oh my God, I wish it wasn't Christmas because all I want to do is work and talk to message people or whatever." And I'm like, just take a break.
Well, no, and it's so easy.
I'll be there tomorrow.
It's so easy to do that to ourselves. And I do it. I have done it so many times. I even did it right before Christmas. I was like, oh my God, I need to get this done and this done and this done and this. And I started feeling so overwhelmed by my to-do list. And then like, oh my God, Christmas. And like, I was stressed out, like, oh my God, so just exhausted before the holidays, and then my sister surprised me, and it was like this, it was permission to break, to just like, oh my God, I love my sister's here. I'm just like, the whole world melts away. And I realized in that space of slowing down, in really taking time, that like, oh my God, here's how I'm in my own way here. Here's where I'm like, damn, I'm resentful as fuck. Like it's leaking out. you know, oh, here's where I don't believe in myself. Here's where I'm not showing up fully. You know, here's something that has been unexpressed from my past, from my childhood, that is still affecting me. And I'm no longer a child, you know? And so it's in those moments where I can slow down and really get clear on some of the things that have been holding me back, and be filled at the same time. Like after the 5 days of like nothing in my business, I can then, like the next day I was like, okay, I'm filled, I'm ready to go. I have so many ideas. I have so much energy to create. Like I want to post this, I want to write about this, I want to share about this. And there's so much more energy that we have when we really do take time for ourselves and fill our cups and like do the things that we have been putting off in terms of self-care, you know, connecting with a loved one. You know, it's just, there's so much more to life than your business. And I know it doesn't feel that way because it feels like everything. And it feels like, it's like, if I don't get this figured out, I'm going to die, you know? But yeah, usually being in that go, go, go is an avoidance of what's really going on, and like an inner story or some emotion that feels too big and scary to look at by yourself. Because I don't do it by myself. Most of the time, I don't look at myself by myself unless unless I feel really secure. But if there's something big, I need help. Like I need to talk to somebody. I need to like get feedback. And so it's in those moments where I can really bring my fullness in my relationships. That's when things really start shifting and melting, and like, oh, I can see where I've been in my own way. And actually, okay, it's not fun. It is not fun to see. I will not lie. It is not fun. But it's amazing, because then now, like you're talking about choice, like I can make now a different choice. Like my emotions and my like unconscious stuff is no longer running the show. And I can step into my leadership by choosing something else.
It is real and puts you in a position of being able to make decisions, and decisions that come from an intentional place rather than a place of fear. Decisions made from a place of fear, you may be in fear and not realize it, but what Heather is saying, like noticing like the overwhelm, the stress, wanting to procrastinate, just wanting to shut down and like watch Netflix for 10 hours, which is okay if you do it once in a while.
I agree.
But when you notice that coming up, there's something else going on there. And if you keep going that way, if you're not talking to anybody, if you're internalizing all of it, it really will get worse and will bleed out.
It will fucking eat you alive.
Yeah, it will. But yeah.
It's such a killer.
Yeah.
It really is. Like oh man. Yeah, it's exhausting to not be in a space where I can just be with myself.
And it's unsustainable because it's so exhausting.
Yes.
So
like your body ragged.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to bring up too is that when you notice for me, it's like the wanting to buy just another course.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So many courses. And when I started talking to people and connecting with more people and being supported by more people, honestly, people that I know very well now, but I didn't know then, it changed my life, including you. And so when part of stepping into your power is saying that you're powerless.
Yes. And being super honest about what's real in the moment. That is so, yes. I'm so happy you said that. I'm so fucking happy, because it really is about being honest. Like okay, when you're constantly trying to like, okay, I'm powerful, I'm this, but you don't believe it, it's like your body knows that you're lying. And and when you can just admit like, wow, I feel really powerless right now, or I feel really angry right now, it's like your body totally calms down because you're being honest about what you're actually feeling and what's actually going on. And even if it is not fun. It is not fun to realize I feel powerless. It's not fun to realize I am angry and like in a toxic loop myself. It sucks. But it's the one thing that will bring you the most fulfillment and power, like true power from the inside out, because you're like, oh, I trust myself to be honest with myself. And even if it's too scary to say it out loud to someone else, at least I know my body knows that I've got it and I'm being honest. And yes, because that's the place to start. That's where you're starting.
You're saying something really, we're saying something really different than what's a lot of the shit that's out there online.
Yes.
And what I think
that's why my work scares people.
Okay. Like suffering is part of being human. Okay. Like suffering, I mean, maybe half you guys will exit the group after I say this, but I hope not. It is human to suffer. It is not a choice to suffer. And if you're telling yourself like the opposite story, like if your story is I'm not enough, I'm scared, I'm fearful of showing up, just saying I'm enough, I'm not scared, I'm in my power isn't going to work if you don't believe it. It really starts with that self-compassion piece. So part of the actual not acknowledging that you're suffering is actually creating suffering in your business.
Boom. I love your passion.
I love yours. Okay, let me say hi to some people.
Yeah.
Lori, I'm sorry if I missed you. Hi, Lori. Amy's here, Abby, and Courtney. Hi. So Courtney says, I struggled so much just being present this year. I think Courtney has little kids too.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were all feeling it this year with our businesses. Unplugging for 2 days made me realize I needed to do it more. Yes.
Yes. Amen.
Put it on your calendar.
Good job, Lori. Yeah.
Good job. Oh, that was Courtney.
Oh, Courtney. Sorry. Good job.
That's
Courtney.
okay.
Amazing.
So if you guys have any questions, drop them in. And then if you're watching live, put a hashtag live. So I know we don't necessarily know you're here if you don't do that. So we want to know that you're here and we want to help you and answer any questions. So
yeah. Well, and the piece I wanted to say too, just about like the way it connects to my work is like, oftentimes people see my work and they're like, wow, that's really awesome. But like, I could never do that, you know, because it's like, I still feel like I have to show up a certain way to, you know, get business or get clients or, you know, have friends and loved ones, you know, and it is a switch. It is about being honest about your humanity, you know, and sometimes it's challenging to just admit, you know, I feel powerless or I feel angry or whatever. And like by doing that in front of a camera, like you are literally like an activist in your own life and in your own my partner.
I'm sorry. I love you.
Love you.
And I love this conversation.
Aww.
Okay, babe.
Oh, that was really sweet.
Here's a great example. It's like in my relationship, I don't hold back. I don't hold back anything. and we have a very deep connection and love. And that's honestly one of the benefits in doing this work, because you will literally have people in your life who love you for you and everything that you feel. and not who you think you have to be for them. And that's so huge and so relaxing when you can just be yourself and say exactly what's on your mind, and they don't run, they don't leave, they don't judge you. It's just like, all right, we're here. Like, I love that. I'm proud of how you feel. Let's talk, and whoa, game changer.
Yeah. And then when you can be that way, when you feel that in your personal relationships, that extends to your content,
Absolutely.
to the quality of your content, to
Absolutely.
your how you show up in your business and for your clients, how you do sales calls.
Exactly.
There's a lot in the sales space that is very masculine, right? Like it's like, and that's fine, but I think it doesn't necessarily speak to a lot of women because it feels, well, first, I think maybe it doesn't speak to a lot of women because it's very like focused on money, and we have stuff around money, but also the language of it.
Totally. It's like, I hear all the time, like, sales should be emotionless. I'm like, oh boy, like I am not an emotionless person. So I have to figure out a way to talk to people that's still very much me, but also is clear and has a clear direction. So yeah, I think like finding what works for you for sure. But it's in that trust of what feels right to you that I think so much more authenticity comes out. It's like, okay, this may not be the way that other people tell me to do it, but this is what feels good for me. And if it works, fantastic. If it's not, keep tweaking it,
Yeah. So mindset, I heard from you, noticing your body, like when you feel uncomfortable in a certain situation, noticing how that feels, giving yourself compassion for feeling that way. It's okay that you feel that way. Not creating sort of like this unnecessary struggle, and kind of reaching out for help, reaching out for, sort of like a second opinion, reaching out for support. So many women don't want to do that. They feel shame about that because we really are socialized to hold everything, to take care of everyone. But that creates a very empty cup, and you can't pour from an empty cup. And your business really suffers for that.
It really does. Yeah. Amazing.
I don't see any questions here. So is this helpful? The feelings and, this group really is, I created this group because I want to talk about this stuff and to create a really safe place to talk about these things that we're not, showing up on ClickFunnels talking about, and if any of you are in the ClickFunnels group, that's a very like hardcore, it's a lot of language around, grinding and hustling, and I'm not saying that hard work isn't, so hard work is a good thing, but it's also, we have to have fun. We have to give ourselves space. We have to talk to other women and be there for each other so we can help fill each other's cups.
Absolutely. Yeah, I loved what you were sharing before we started about like your vision for this group and like what you really want to create in terms of community. Because I think that's so like, and I would love to actually hear you say more about that because I really loved the way that you said it. And so like community is so important, especially when we're dealing with these things and we don't feel like we have anyone in our immediate lives to talk to. A group like this can be so helpful. So will you
talk
about your vision?
So yeah, I really see, I've been in the online entrepreneurial space for over a year now, pretty hardcore. And I see a lot of messages that really don't necessarily speak to me and don't speak to my work as a therapist, also with women. And I see like the sort of shame cycle being created and reinforced. Like, we need to work all the time. We need to work harder. We need to grind. We need to do this, we need to do that. But actually, if you kind of look at people who are saying those things, they're like dudes in their 20s who don't have who don't. I mean, so I really, and I see entrepreneurs in my therapy practice too. Hi, Megan. Good to see you. #live, girl. That I really see this need and this space for a space where we can be real with one another and support one another. And my coach, going from therapist to coach, it's been for me, even though I have my own private practice and have built that and I've had it for 11 years, moving to this different space, really like showing up on video, like what I have to do. No. And I realized like all this shit, like all this old trauma stuff is coming up for me, where it was resulting in my procrastinating and constant worry. And I thought, like, my God, I cannot be the only one. And I know I'm not, because I work with other women in my practice who are dealing with this stuff too. And also, like, people not in this space don't understand what it's about. So there's even less of an understanding from our family and friends. Like my mom is just like, I don't know what you're doing. Are you making any money at it yet? I don't know.
Oh my God.
Yep. So like, just to, be really real and say like, wow, it's been a really hard day. That doesn't mean I don't have it. I got it, but it's been a really hard day. And, my husband's mad at me because I'm like always looking at my phone. And this year also, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more, I've had like basically in my life, with my husband, something like just like exploded, addiction issues and stuff. And I felt like through this whole journey, like then like a bomb gets detonated in my life, and it's, I've had to keep going and how do you do that, and that happens. Kids get sick, partners get in, we get sick.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff, literally the shit we worry about hardly ever happens. It's the stuff that we don't worry about that happens, and you got to deal with it. So the only way I have been able to deal with it is to talk to my entrepreneurial friends about it, get a therapist. And you cannot, it is so toxic to hold everything in. And it really creates so much negative energy that gets spewed out in your business and you don't even know it. So I really want to create this really loving space. I'm also going to be doing some stuff around perfectionism. What?
You're already creating it. You're creating it.
Because it's real. It's not.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Perfectionism, procrastination. There are different kinds of perfectionism too.
Totally.
But all that stuff is not stuff, we don't want to spend money on ourselves. There's so much underlying stuff that is ongoing. If anybody tells you they can fix your mindset blocks in like a half an hour, it's bullshit. I don't care. I do EMDR. I reprocess trauma. It's amazing, but shit still comes up.
Mm-hmm.
LLP
and that's why
masters.
tools are really important. Tools that you practice over and over are important.
Yes. And part of that I see is like coming to the group and saying, oh my God, have you guys ever experienced this? I am dying here. We will not judge you.
Totally.
We will hold you. We will not say you need to grind harder.
Right. No, I so love what you're saying, because when I first moved to New York, not knowing anybody and really coming from an environment where it was not safe for me to express myself fully, here in New York, I found communities where it was encouraged to share myself fully. And it changed so much for me in order to just be honest in front of a group of people, even though it was the scariest thing I could think of. Having a whole community, like a whole room of people, be like, wow, I hear you, I see you, thank you for saying that, me too. It changed so much in terms of my belief about like how I could show up and how important my voice really is and was. That changes so much, because then it's like, okay, even if my personal relationships aren't perfect or like all this stuff isn't perfect, people see me and respect me and accept me. And that helps at least me feel so much more relaxed in my life, because it's like, okay, cool. At least someone sees me, At least someone really wants to hear my truth,
That's really beautiful. And you know what it does for me, among many other things, is it gives me so much courage.
Yes.
Courage to do the live. Somebody telling me like, just do it. Just do it. You have to do it. Just do it. Makes me stressed. Saying, we see you. We know it's hard. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Imperfect action. This is what that means. Yeah. Like you don't know who you're going to touch.
Exactly. And I honestly, like the ripples, you don't even really know, because they're like, I've heard things from people that I met years ago come to me and be like, wow, I've really been following your stuff. And I'm so inspired by you. And like, thank you so much for being honest and sharing your process, because it really like has helped me accept my own. And I'm like, damn. Yeah. Like they haven't been commenting, they haven't been engaging.
Yeah.
But
lots of lurkers. Yeah.
Yeah. And they just lurk. And so it's like, and it's okay that they lurk, but it just it goes to show, like, when you can really own your process and step into it and really like share from that place, you have no idea who you're affecting. And it's so cool. It's so cool. It's like one of the like raddest things I've ever experienced, where it's
it's pretty
just me being me has made an impact. Like, wow.
Yeah. the way that how we connected was you were working with a friend of mine who was a book coach, and she's an amazing person. She's awesome. And she helped me write the chapter of this book that's coming out in a couple days, actually. And we got pretty close through that process. And then she was at a networking event that you were at, and she was talking to you about this chapter and her helping me. And then she said to me, hey, I met this really cool woman. She's like so interested in meeting you. I'm like, yeah, I totally want to meet her. So like being open to those opportunities is you're not if you're afraid to be seen.
Yes.
Exactly. Because that was me 2 years ago. Like
me too. I didn't want to say the wrong thing. I didn't want to like piss someone off or like come across as too needy or anything like that. So it's like that can really stop you from creating those relationships and saying yes to those opportunities. Now it's like, had we both been where we were 2 years ago, we wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like,
Full
oh,
details.
yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I'm willing to talk about this because she's willing to talk about this. Okay, like, great. No one ever really wants to talk about what we were talking about. So cool to
No.
connect on something that that is taboo and stigmatized in a really negative way, and be able to connect and form a friendship around a similar decision.
Mhm.
You know, like it's so cool.
Yeah.
Because then for exactly, like I felt so much more courage to then like eventually share about that,
Yeah.
you know, more publicly. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool, because I've been like really hemming and hawing and like, oh, this could be powerful, but I'm really scared of like potential backlash. And you just having the courage to put it out there is like, well, cool, me too then, you know? And it creates this like, I love this thing. It's like, it really creates a solidarity, you know? And like, okay, cool. If she can do it, I can do it. And even if we're both getting backlash, like we'll be in the backlash together, you know?
Exactly. So Heather's talking about something you guys don't know about yet, but if you buy my digital multi-author book called Leaders for $1.99 and get us a bestseller, Amazon bestseller, you will know what the chapter is about and what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Let me just say hi to a few people, and I want to read what Courtney said. And you guys give us hearts. That helps with the algorithm, I guess. And #live.
I'm sorry you're watching.
Yeah, and let us know what if you have any questions, comments. So let me read Courtney's. Hi, Megan. Hi, Cassiana, Dallas, Carrie, Faith, Melanie. Melanie, how are you? And Heidi. So Courtney says, oh my gosh, yes, this is when we were talking about well, let me just read the comment. It's obvious. Oh my gosh, yes. Like, you're not a mom with little kids strapped for time. Don't come at me with work more. Work more. Totally need the safe space to actually get feedback that's relevant. Yeah.
Yep.
Relevant feedback is good.
Yep.
Good.
You need someone who's listening to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And seriously, this is a fairly small group at this point, but we are all really, really powerful women. Like, seriously. I am so excited about the women in this group and all the help we can give and encouragement we can give to one another.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to see like a year from now, like where we're all at, what we're all doing. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah. And honestly, I like one of my favorite places to receive support from is from strong women, because it then doesn't become this like codependent shit show. It becomes like, no, girl, I believe you. Like, I believe in you. Yeah. And like sending, like, what do you need? You know, like, do you need a kind word? Do you need, and it just becomes this like, cool, we're just lifting each other up and we're believing in each other's power and our ability to really like do this, you know? And so it's so refreshing to receive support from a strong community, like strong people. And so I so love what you're creating, and I'm so happy to be here and be part of it, because there's just so much possible when we come together and really like listen and support each other and hold each other. And I just, yeah, it's so inspiring to me. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And it's okay. I think the overall arching theme here is it's okay to feel your feelings. In fact, it's necessary to feel them, share them. If you feel, compelled to do that, let yourself be held in that space. And it doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean your business is going to fail. In fact, if you don't allow yourself that freedom, you probably will stay stuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're here for you. We don't want you to stay stuck. I don't want you to stay stuck.
No, me neither. It sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks.
It really does. Well, thank you all for watching.
Yeah.
I hope you have a great new year. Thanks for spending time with me, Heather, and
Yeah,
all of you awesome women out there.
Yeah.
And if you catch the replay, do #replay.
Cool. Would it be okay? I have a meditation if people are interested in experiencing a little bit of my work. Is that something you could
Yeah.
post below
Yeah.
or something? Yeah. It's a meditation I recorded that I do with every one of my clients before we shoot. So it's just a taste of like what it is to connect with nature and yourself and like your vision and like your future self, and then action steps to like create more of that in your current reality. So
Perfect.
yeah, if you're interested in that, how should I just post it below or something?
If you can post it once this posts up, you want to just put it in the comments?
Yeah, okay. I'll put it in the
Okay.
comments. Awesome. Yay.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much.
I so enjoyed this.
Me too. I love you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye, guys.
Mwah.
Mwah.